What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to my 5 and 5. We are going to be talking about my 5 favorite plays of the day for the last major day of the baseball season. It'll be my last 5 and 5 video for the MLB season. We'll be doing them for NFL every week, and I'll be doing it for each position going forward. And I will be doing it, of course, when the NBA comes up every day again. So I just want to talk about a little bit of things here. There's a lot of things to look out for. Look out for starting lineups. You can, adjust your pitchers if you see a really weak lineup put out there. Teams don't have anything to play for anymore. So something to consider. And then there's the teams that have a lot to play for, which you have to worry about pinch hit risk more, pitchers being pulled earlier in any jam and things like that. All right, to start it off, I'm going to use Michael Conforto for value on both sides, 2,900 on DraftKings, 2,300 on FanDuel, just as a really nice way to get access to some of the lineups I really want to target, being Toronto, Boston, the Dodgers, and of course the KC, Minnesota, both sides of that game, but especially Minnesota. So Michael Conforto is a great value option. It's a huge hitter up park upgrade for them. They're playing Atlanta. Conforto's actually, he's just been too cheap for who he is. He's put up 17 and 14 fantasy points in each of the last 2 games, respectively. It hasn't hit a home run. I did hit a home run a couple games ago, but I do really think that Conforto's price stands out to me and is going to be low owned, I think, as well. So I think as an outfield value, he definitely makes a lot of sense to me tonight on both sides. Next, I'm going to talk about Byron Buxton and one of my favorite stacks in Minnesota. Now, they're going to be fairly popular, so just keep that in mind. But I really do like the stack. Buxton, I could just easily have said Josh Donaldson here. The truth is, though, that Buxton is 4.7 and should probably be about 6K. Look at this guy's game. I mean, first of all, he's going to run when he gets on. He's going to hit, and then he's going to go out and hit, home runs for you. Hit 2 home runs yesterday. He's 4,700, way too cheap. Great game, good hitting environment against a terrible pitcher, lousy bullpen, et cetera, et cetera. Buxton is one of my favorite plays in the slate. That's not going to be anything off the board. He is going to be a cash game option if you're going to ask me, and so will Josh Donaldson. I am slightly leaning towards Buxton over Donaldson. I know that Donaldson stands out at third base, especially. Obviously, different positions, and there's a lot more outfield options. But I really like Buxton tonight, and I think that he is going to have another nice game that we would really use tonight. Vlad is just simply going to be overlooked. His price is hard to get to, but like I said, there's a lot of outfield value. You can use Corey Dickerson as a part of a stack at 2,800 to get you some extra value there. You can use Danny Jansen in the lineup at 3,200, not incredibly low value, but you've got guys like Willie Calhoun at 2,300 in the outfield. You've got guys like I just mentioned, Conforto and Dickerson, and I just think that there's enough value out there that we can go ahead and try to play Vlad, who actually hasn't hit a home run in a little while for Vlad standards. I mean, the guy's got 46 in the season, but it's been about 10 games since he's hit one. He has looked better at the plate over the last couple games after struggling a little bit. I really like the Toronto lineup against the Orioles tonight. It's interesting that the ownership, I think, is going to be lower than people think because the pricing is hard to get to on DraftKings, especially. Probably much higher owned on FanDuel. But it is really a great spot for Toronto here. Obviously, must win and all that stuff. But I really love Vlad tonight. I'm always going to play that guy when he's low owned. We could have made a lot of money this season if we just blindly played him as our first base option every night and figured out the rest, regardless of whether you're stacking or not. Next one I'm going to go to is going to be off the board. And this guy I happen to know better than any hitter in baseball. And he is my favorite. He's been my favorite player for a while. Unfortunately, he has to always battle the injury bug. But Corey Seeger is red hot right now. He has 5 home runs in his last 3 games. The Dodgers as a whole I love and are going to be overlooked. People are not going to play Seeger in the lefty-lefty matchup against Lauer. Who knows how long Lauer sticks around for the playoff-bound Milwaukee team. We don't know what kind of things we're going to see from their bullpen, usually a very good bullpen. But they don't have a whole lot to play for, and they don't need to try and knock the Dodgers. The Dodgers are not going to, they're either going to have to play the play-in wild card game, or they're going to win the division. I mean, that's a long shot still, but I hope that I still carry out some hope. Dodgers are going to put their best foot forward. I love the extremely high price. You're going to get literally like no ownership on Corey Seager on both sides, and he is my favorite shortstop play. I do not care about the lefty-lefty. I don't even think it's going to last that long. And I think he's just red hot, and he's one of those guys when he gets hot, sort of like I always talk about Stanton, you sort of want to ride that out as long as you possibly can. And absolutely love Seager tonight. Another one that's going to be, I think, fairly well owned in the outfield is Eloy Jimenez, just too cheap at 4,200. It's a little worrisome with the White Sox. They could literally pull their guys in the 5th inning if they want to, regardless of score. Nothing to play for at all. But the matchup with Peralta and the Detroit bullpen's a little too hard for me to pass up. So I'm going to try and get some exposure to this White Sox stack, even though it does carry some concern for me. I like Gavin Sheets as another value option. You could use him at first instead of Abreu, but I do like Abreu as well. But I really like Eloy Jimenez in that price. He's just simply too cheap for his talent level. Has been pretty good lately, with the exception of the last game where he went 0 for 4. But before that, he's actually been hitting the ball pretty well. And I do think he grades out as my favorite White Sox today. But I don't mind if you want to go a different route if you're going to be building White Sox stacks. I will have all my plays listed on truedfs.com. It'll have my ownerships of each team, player, etc. We're going to be mixing around a bunch of different pitchers, but my early look is I am leaning Toronto #1 stack. I understand that they're going to be harder to get in, followed by Boston, Minnesota. Minnesota, I could argue ahead of Boston. They're really close. And then I like KC and the Dodgers. Those are the ones I'm using basically in that order. I might end up with more Dodger exposure. The Dodgers have hit 11 home runs the last 2 games against sort of a similar situation, an adequate starting pitcher with a bad bullpen behind them. Let's go Dodgers. You know, I mean, like they're just on fire right now as a team, and I want to ride that out. So, all right, guys. Anyway, check out truedfs.com. Sign up now for 2 weeks free. Join our Discord because it is popping off. We've got great minds like Rhodey's in there every day, and he's just crushing. Almost had a shot at the Millionaire Maker last week. But yeah, join us, and we hope you all crush it. Enjoy the last day of baseball of the regular season, the last weekday of the regular season, and yeah, let's get it tonight, guys. Good luck, everybody.